So it's been a while since I've sat down and talked about stuff. The last time I remember doing it is when I was debunking the whole thing about why gilded.gg was even created in the first place. But I'm back today, and today's topic is a bit of an iffy one. It only happened about 2 days as of the time of recording this, but I just felt I'd at least address it and give my 2 cents on it. This last week, and in fact the last couple of months, have been nothing more than just taking on about as much shit as a Walmart toilet. The CEO of YouTube stepped down and there was some drama with the new CEO. We had a massive scam on Discord called Me6. Several banks failed in the course of a week. Some YouTubers were being sued for $1 billion. Linus Tech Tips got hacked through something called session hijacking. Heck, even I became the victim of a cyber attack, although it failed and I was able to regain control of everything, thankfully. Nintendo eShop ceased operations on the 3DS and Wii U. We've had several shootings occur, how surprising. And we've had the Restrict Act, which many people are calling it the Patriot Act 2.0 or the Patriot Act on steroids. So we've had a very eventful last couple of months, if not days or weeks. But I guess this was the grand finale, the cherry on top, so to speak. This last Sunday, I was made aware that there was a shooting incident at a Virginia mall. The mall made a Facebook post which basically confirmed that there was in fact a shooting that had taken place, with one person being injured, and that they were closing the mall for the rest of the day. Obviously, it was fresh off the press, so there were no other details that were being given out or really anything about the victim's condition or what had happened. It was too early in the investigation process, so obviously we weren't going to get anything new, and there really wasn't anything to really go off of. But I mean, there were still some thoughts going through my mind, maybe this was something gang related, or maybe this had to do with connection with the shooting that took place in Nashville, which literally happened about, I'd say, a week now. About 7 hours later, the sheriff's office released their posting on it, which basically stated that they had arrested the suspect, which was confirmed to be a guy named Alan W. Cawley, who was about 31 years old at the time of arrest. They laid down the law both literally and figuratively. One brave soldier managed to get a video of the guy being placed into custody. I'll show that right now.
Hands up! Get on your face! Get on the way! Get the fire off! Get out! Let's go! Right here's the gun!
But yeah, Cawley was arrested and charged with aggravated malicious wounding, use of a firearm in the commission of a felony, and discharging a firearm within the building. In their press release, they also revealed that the shooting had taken place in the food court of the mall, and that the shooting took place over an interaction between Cawley and the victim. Now, my take at the time was I really didn't immediately think of anything, or I didn't immediately make anything out of it per se, since the press release said that they didn't know each other. So I kind of thought, maybe they got in a fight in one of the lines, because those lines do get very long at times, or maybe the victim had taken Cawley's seat or his table or something, and he got upset about it or something, and that would have been it. That could have been it. That could have been the end of the story right there. But of course, situations like this kind of make major headlines, and the press always has their hands ready on their pens and paper. Kind of like those old Midwestern movies where the sheriff has his hand on his Luger just ready to fire down on whoever. And one of the nearby news stations got an exclusive interview with the victim, whose name was revealed to be Tanner Cook at Coley's arraignment. He was revealed to have gone into the ICU after having a bullet pierce both his stomach and liver, which, I mean, he should have been dead. I'm no bullet expert or anything like that, but very few people have survived gunshot wounds to the abdomen area. He could have easily bled out, and he could have easily died that day over that interaction. And it's even more concerning that they found him outside of the mall, which could have intensified the bleeding had he been trying to move around. So he is very lucky that he even managed to survive that, and they did say he was going to make a steady recovery, which is good. But the biggest question, of course, is what exactly happened, what led to the events unfolding, and what led Coley to shoot Tanner. Well, it doesn't take much digging. Heck, you don't even need to read the articles at all, and you already have the answer. YouTuber making prank video shot at Dulles Town Center reads one of the headlines of the news station article. Tanner said that he was quote unquote playing a prank and a simple practical joke, and this guy didn't take it very well. Coley then went out and pulled his gun, and Tanner adds that he didn't say anything to him amidst that confrontation. He even adds that despite him having been shot and going to the ICU and all that stuff, he says it's not going to stop him from making videos, which I find interesting to say the least. I mean, you be you. You know, normally any human being that gets hurt as a result of doing something usually stops doing that thing for a good while, if not forever. But not in this situation, which cool, I guess. I mean, he really pulled that "don't stop me now" card, but hey, who am I to judge, right? Now, I already assumed that this would be one of those things where Tanner pushed Coley too far, and Coley got all pissed. And then watching some of Tanner's videos, I figured that that definitely could have been the case. His content kind of follows similar gears to people like Danny Dunson or Balin Levine or of the sort, where they kind of dance around or even cross the line of like legality, or they push people's buttons too far. So it definitely could have been the case. It could be a working theory as to what provoked Coley, but again, we don't have much evidence. It's all just circumstantial and just speculation. It still does not excuse Coley from having shot the kid. I mean, that kid's probably never going to live life like he used to, because that bullet did pierce both his stomach and liver. It's a bit of a tragic situation. His friend did record the whole thing, but that has gone into evidence, so we can't even see how far things got or if there was even a reason for Coley to get ticked off. It's all, again, just left to speculation. And the whole case is just dependent on that video, because surveillance is only going to get you so far. It doesn't have audio. It doesn't show you like in detail like what exactly happened. Now, if the video does show Tanner going a bit too far, I would not be that much surprised if Tanner does get hit with like some sort of like misconduct charge. But it still does not mark grounds for you to just shoot someone simply because they pissed you off. Just because someone annoys you or does something to provoke you does not make it okay to shoot someone. This wasn't self-defense. Coley's life was not threatened, nor was he in any immediate danger. And it just shows how mentally stable he was, and it just doesn't make much sense that he was even able to carry a gun. Now the kid is in the ICU with a bullet that pierced through his stomach and liver, all over a quote-unquote innocent little prank, all for just 1 minute of fame or clout. All in all, just a very unfortunate situation. Just kind of one of those fuck around and find out type of situations. It could have been deadly. It definitely could have turned out a lot worse, but thankfully it didn't. And now we're just kind of waiting as to what comes out of the case. Maybe that video reveals that Tanner did go too far in his prank, and provoked Coley. I mean, it's all speculation because we don't really have a lot to play with. We're just gonna have to wait and see what comes out of the situation. That's really all we can do. So yeah, stay safe out there. It's a crazy world, and we'll see you in the next one.